How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back on another video. We're going to be finishing up the chef's cutlery. We're going to finish it up, but I wanted some way of presenting the blade on something like a small board. But I wanted to do something different, so kind of like Forged in Fire. You know how they go in there and you see that nice blade sitting on that little stand? Well, I just wanted to do something like that, so when I do build something like this, I'll have something to display it on, which I thought would be pretty cool. Why? I don't know. Just something to do. So, anyhow, I thought maybe a couple deer antlers and an old board. And I have one of Julie's old knives here. She don't really use it, but we're going to use it to give me an idea where I need to sit everything on here. So, but by the time we're done, I will have the chef's cutlery setting on this for you guys to see. So, anyhow, let's get to working on this little board. Okay, just a little close-up of some of the materials we're going to be using. As far as I know, we're going to be using these two deer antlers. We will be cutting a piece off of this one, and we'll be using a piece of this. And what I want that to do, I want that V part right there to be able to hold my knife. If I can get this to hold the handle, like this part right here, and then something up on the other end to hold the other part of it. So we're going to do, well, I'll try a couple different ways, but I thought what I would do for this end up here is just cut this point off, drill my hole, and cut a V in this piece right here, and just stick it down in there, and that would hold the tip of the knife up. But we might have to shave a little bit of that antler off a little bit so it goes straight up and down, but that's not a big deal. This might be too tall yet. So okay, I'm going to try to get this one to, I'm going to cut that on a bandsaw and see if I can get this at an angle to where it's flush with the board. That don't look too bad. I think this might be just okay. I think this might be okay here. So what I'm going to do now is I got some small sandpaper, just some 220. I'm going to clean this antler up just a little bit because it's got a lot of dirt on it. It's just been laying around for years and years and years. So I'm just going to clean it up a little bit and see if we can get it to look a little better. We don't want to take all the brown off of it. We just want to try to get the dirt off of it. Probably could have washed it, but that's okay. Just going to do this. Okay, now that we got the hand or the antler scuffed down a little bit, I'm going to take it over to buffing wheel and give it a little bit of a shine. See how it just brings some of the shine back out in it. I've been sitting here trying to figure out what's the best way to attach this to this board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to drill a hole going to drill a hole through here. Try to drill it up through the bottom. I got a small screw here, right here. I want this one to go up through the bottom, into the bottom of the antler, but I can see I don't have enough, so I'm going to have to do a little countersink here to make sure we got enough to go into the antler. Might have enough right there. Okay, I think we have enough sticking out of there to go into the antler, but I think that hole's going to have to be a little bit bigger because it doesn't want to spin in there. So I'm just going to waller that hole out just a little bit more. So that screw goes in there real easy. We want it to spin in there. We don't want it to go through, but we want it to spin. Okay, that spins in there. So now we'll try to attach it to the deer antler. And we know we want it right on that back corner of that deer antler, so what I'll do is I'll pre-drill a little hole in here. So I know these are self-tappers. They may go right in there. I don't know. It might. Maybe we'll just try that self-tapper and see if it works. All right, I got a very small drill bit here. I'm going to use this little small bit just to try to guide that self-tapper up in where I want it. Because I want it in a certain place, you know, and I want it to be right. So I just did a little tiny little bit in there, and we'll try this. Hopefully the little self-tapper, I don't want to split the deer antler. So we'll get this started in the back here. So it's still spinning in there. We'll set our deer antler on that little hole that we had drilled. So it's hard to hold. So now we know that we got it in the right place. I might have to throw this thing in a vise. I think this vise will hold it a lot better for me, so I could get this lined up with the hole that we drilled. Ooh, that went down pretty easy. Good job. That worked out real well. That worked out really well. Now all we gotta do is see what we could do about getting another one in there to keep it from twisting. We want it right in the middle, so the blade, this part here, is sitting right in the middle. That turned out pretty good. So we're gonna work on doing something underneath the tip of this. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is try to drill another one. Make sure this is lined up in the center. And then try to drill another starter hole and do the same thing and put one more screw in there. We might be pushing our luck, so we gotta be careful here. I don't want to break the deer antler. The board I got out of the firewood pile, so the board's not gonna hurt anything. Let's see. Make sure we're lined up here. I think we're into the antler. So we'll go ahead and take this screw back out. And we're going to countersink the next one, but not as far. Okay, look here, we're right there. I don't even know if we're going to countersink that one. Man, that was something else there. I may even go in there and get some of that epoxy and epoxy that in there. Let's see. Just to make sure it doesn't come off. Let's see how deep we want to go. We don't want to go real deep. I think we can go a little deeper with it. Yeah, we might have went too far. We're about as deep as the other one. So, we're going to try and just see what happens here. Screwing both these in. Hopefully it works. Like I said, I might get some epoxy and put on them. That would sure help hold it in there. For sure. I'll put this in first. One we already had in. Okay, gotta line this back up where it was. Hopefully we get this one to stick in there in the same hole. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it's on there. Now please just set our knife in here. Now we need something for the front end of the knife to hold the tip. And what I intended on doing is taking one of the spikes and cut it off, flip it over so the pointy end's down. then cut a V in the other part. That way the V would be where the blade sets in. And it doesn't have to be real far. It could be right in here anywhere. Just so it holds that knife up and down. So let's get us another antler and cut us off a point. Alright, we don't need much of a point. Now all we gotta do is cut a little V in this. Hopefully I can do it. I think we did okay. Nice little V in there. Now what we'll do is go over to the board and drill us a hole through that board to set this in. Okay, I laid this knife down in here, and then I got a little place right there is where I'd like to set that. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and drill that out with a bigger bit. I want to drill through my table. Okay. Now this should fit down in there, like so. But what I might have to do, drill it a little bit bigger. That's not looking too bad. That don't look awful bad. I don't like how it flops in there, but I think it'll be okay to present a knife. I could drill that just a little bit bigger, so it goes down in. Maybe, let me see what kind of bits I got. I got one of these little bits here for different sizes. I think I'll try to drill it down in there just a little bit to kind of give it more of a taper at the top than at the bottom. I don't know if that would even help. But it does hold the knife. And then we could use that for different size knives. All I have to do is make different little tips down in here. These little pieces down in here. Not too bad. I'm not crazy about how that's sticking up a little bit there. It's looking okay though, to be able to showcase a knife. I'm thinking I'm going to try to get that point down in there just a little bit deeper. What I might do is just take the bandsaw and cut just a little bit with the bandsaw straight down. That way it's not wobbling around in there. Okay, I did that little cut in there. It's not too bad, but I'm going to drill this just a little bit bigger. Oh, easy, Kevin, easy. Clean out this hole. Okay. That took our deer antler tip right to the bottom. I'm going to sand that off just a little bit flat to keep it from hitting the bottom. Oh, I think that fit in there perfect now. That's so much better. And then if you want to put your knife in there, oh, that's going to hold it in there pretty sturdy. Cut that little thing in there. I think that's going to be nice to present a knife. Now, we could always change the width of these higher or lower, or bring a deer antler in for smaller knives or whatever. But we could also bring the knife out if we wanted a little bit further and then showcase it. It's pretty cool. Okay, this thing is about done. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, and I don't care for the ends of this thing, so we'll just take a torch and we'll burn it. We'll cook them, turn them black. Getting my table a little hot. That looks good. Looks a lot better. Okay, there is the chef's cutlery blade that we had built with a 1944 Willys Jeep leaf spring. If that spring could only talk, I'm sure it's been around a lot of places. But we took it from a leaf spring and took it back to something useful. I think it really turned out good, but I'm just a beginner. I'm not a professional at building these knives. I just try to take my time and do the best that I can. I really honestly think it turned out really nice, and I do appreciate all the nice comments I've been getting, and you guys watching my videos. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to give you a little close-up. That knife is not perfect. By no means is it perfect, but it was the best that I could do. So I will give you a close-up of the knife to let you see, well, all the flaws. Okay, as you can see, I have a little speck right here. That's a forging speck. I couldn't get it out, couldn't sand it out. I left it in there. It's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. The blade did turn out fairly nice for a leaf spring. The handle, I was pretty impressed with the handle. I really enjoyed making this handle. We have brass, walnut, we have a brass pin there, brass, leather, brass, and then there's another pin in the back handle part in the deer antler that you can't see because I didn't bring it all the way through. It went through the back side, in through the metal tang, and halfway through the other part of the antler. So I'll go to the other side. Okay, we have one little speck up here I couldn't get out. You can see it right at the tip of my finger. And the handle really turned out nice. I had to grind just a little bit on the handle, not much, on the deer antler part. But I do like the finger grooves in it. The finger grooves really help it a lot. Really did a nice job on the handle of the finger grooves. And you're probably wondering, is it sharp? Well, you'll just have to wait until I start cooking with the little cooker and see how sharp it is. Even the butt end of the deer antler, I polished it too. Can't really see it, but it does have a shine to it. Okay, the knife is pretty much finished itself, but we're not finished with the videos, because we are going to build a sheath for this knife. And for those of you who are just checking the knife out, this is the third part to this knife. We forged it in the forge. We sanded it down. We got it all cleaned up and put the handle on it. And then this here is just a video where we're just presenting the knife to show you guys what the knife looks like. And the next one will be building the sheath. I have some pretty good ideas to how I'm going to build a pretty nice sheath for this, but that's another area that I'm not a professional. I just do it the best that I can, and I hope for the best. So I do have some ideas on it. So if you guys are interested in this, I'm going to put this knife, it'll be the Chef's Cutlery build in a small playlist, so you guys can watch from start to finish on the Chef's Cutlery. And like I said, this is a 1944 Willys Jeep leaf spring. It's amazing what you can do with something old and bring it back to life. And this thing, I think, is back to life. I will be using this for Christmas dinner. I'm going to cut the ham with it. So stay tuned for the next one. We'll be building this sheath. And I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Until next time.